Pride flag today and receive a free pocket Constitution with your order. www.1787flags.com, the official website of the Constitution Pride flag. That's www.1787flags.com.
This is Shepard with the Intel Hub. Don't forget to check out my show weekdays at 3 p.m. Central on American Freedom Radio.
Did you ever wish that you could have done something while you still had the chance? What will you do if your income ends tomorrow? Or if you lose your home, as many already have? Do you have enough money to survive through an economic depression? If you don't want to gamble with your future, then FreeToProsper.com can help you quickly end your debt problems, protect your property and possessions, and develop a personal strategy to get you through the hard times. Most importantly, you get to keep your money and not pay another cent to creditors. Our program is often superior to bankruptcy, consolidation, or settlement. Visit FreeToProsper.com to find out more. This is your real chance to act ahead, so don't delay. Your future may depend on it. Call 718-615-0123 to learn more. That's 718-615-0123. Or visit FreeToProsper.com today.
Join me, Joe Joseph, and my co-hosts John King and A.C. Griffith, Thursdays and Sunday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Time for Freedomlink Radio's Bridging the Gap on the Intel Hub Radio Network.
Enough about tampons and toilet paper. We'll get into a lot more preparation stuff, folks, I promise you. But first of all, without further ado, it's 9 o'clock, which means it's time for King's Court. Take it away, John.
Thanks, Joe. Well, folks, it's 2 days before Doomsday, the midterm election of Obama's illegitimate presidency. I say illegitimate because he still has not proven himself to anyone independent about his qualifications for the office he's holding. Obama's, as well as Hillary Clinton, will be out of the country, as well as Timothy Geithner and others. How odd. The first time in U.S. history that a sitting president will be out of the country during any election. The Webbot speaks of something bad happening during their absence. The way I see it is tough luck for Obama as he may lose both the House and the Senate. Could that spell a false flag or an economic collapse? Pass this bill or martial law will be declared by morning. Now, where have I heard that one before? The American people are being held hostage by the political elite, and the only way to free ourselves is not to elect the Republicans and Democrats, but third-party candidates that have nothing to lose or gain in this election. I don't care who you vote for, just don't vote for the R or D. While Bush had his Katrina, Obama has his BP, which is akin to an environmental disaster of planetary proportions, and the media blackout of the sick and dying is the result of an American Holocaust. There have already been reports of voting machine problems as well as more registered voters than what the counties have in populations. What does that mean? Well, that just means that dead Uncle Earl will be voting twice this election. If you want fair elections, then we must step up to the plate and volunteer to oversee the elections boards. I mean, isn't it our right as citizens to guarantee that our elections are fair? I mean, God forbid they should write a hexadecimal code to favor their candidate. Demand paper ballots. I mean, is it so hard to print a ballot with the picture of the person whose candidate is on it and then tell Grandpa, look, put an X over the guy's face or a check mark to the candidate of your choice? And those ballots that have more than one check mark or more than one X on them, toss them out. They won't get counted. Does that seem harsh? Well, there's a right way and a wrong way to do things, folks, like wiping your butt. If you do it side to side, you're going to end up with dirty shorts. So things should be done correctly and with care. After all, our future does depend on it. But if you have a candidate's picture on a ballot, then they would have the pretty people running, wouldn't they? So how do we win? I don't know that, but I do know this. When those people sit around and do nothing and the election boards do as they please with little or no oversight, we will all lose. Back to you, Joe.
Thank you, John. Well, I see we have a caller, so I'm going to go and I'm going to bring him on, and I think it's Brian from South Carolina. Am I right?
Yeah, it is, John. How are you doing? I mean, Jeff, excuse me.
Yes, sir.
And John, y'all were talking earlier about possible scenarios, and I just want to say, and this won't take a second, but I'm a pre-trib person. I believe that the church is raptured out, and I'll put it to you like this. If someone, an occupying force, was to come into this country tomorrow and I'm still here, then I am absolutely not to do anything that they say because it's not ordained by God. But if I wake up tomorrow and millions of people are missing, I don't see why I would have any other choice but to run for my life or either do what they say because that would be the tribulation. And that's just the perspective a lot of people don't apply when they think of a pre-trib. But it actually gives you grounds not to go along with this thing, if you're here, if you follow me. But the point I wanted to make, and I want to ask AC this, there is a rumor going around, and it's being circulated about, well, if things get bad, the South is going to rebel, we're going to rise again. That's what I was told. And I found it extremely interesting because under NORTHCOM, Canadian, American, and Mexican Army. The Mexican Army is to occupy the southern part of the United States. About a year ago, the same Russian scientists that predicted the end of the Soviet Union on Russia Today, and Hal Lindsey reported on this too, he said that the United States, the continental United States, would be split into 4 pieces, and that the Mexican government would occupy the southeast. Here's where I'm going with this. Do you think it's possible that a deal has already been struck and that they're preconditioning Southerners to believe that this isn't an occupation, it's actually a rebellion against the New World Order, that we're going to team up with the Mexicans and start a new country? Have you heard anything like that? Do you think it's going in the right direction with this? What do you think, Griff?
Brian, I'm on the mailing list for all of the SCV correspondence back and forth, and I've been, although I did not become a member of the SCV, I have worked for them and with them on many projects. I could become a member of the SCV. My people in Alabama fought the 1861 war, and I'm, as you probably have guessed, I'm very much in allegiance with Southern thinking and the Southern people. My mother came from Mississippi, my father came from Virginia, and my relatives fought the war. So I have great passion for all of that, and I and a few others take care of 36,000 Confederate soldiers here in Richmond with flags and so on. I don't think the South will ever rise again. I think probably there are plans somewhere. It is probable that there are plans for dividing and farming out portions of the United States. That's how they work. They don't do anything from day to day or week to week or month to month. They're long-term agendas, and it may take many, 50, 100 years for their agendas to work out. So, yes, I would suspect, I have no hard evidence whatsoever, but I would suspect there are plans to cut the United States up. Just a kind of a gut feeling. I do think that the Gulf situation probably will impact the population in the South and in the near future reduce their capability of defending their land. I think there will be an evacuation, whether it's government decreed or whether the people will start dying and flee in terror. I hope that answered your question, Brian.
Well, it does to a certain extent, but I think that in the South we need to be on guard for a situation like this and make sure that we're not being duped into accepting something that we absolutely should be rebelling against. And the site, it was Russia Today. You know, they're on YouTube. You can check them out on the internet, and they the guy's pretty adamant about it. He also says that the western part of the country be handed over to China. The mid-South, South Carolina, Virginia, North Carolina, along the northeast would go to the EU. The rest of the country would be occupied by Canada. But it was very interesting because I do know that rumor's going around, you know, in certain circles, and you know, an alarm went off in my mind to say, well, they're just preconditioning us for an occupation on NORTHCOM or with Mexican forces, and they're trying to trick people into accepting that there's something good. I don't know what would be good about having 1 billion Chinese right on the other side of Texas waiting to come here, you know, without even having to get on a boat. But I want to make another point, too. It's on the barium salts and the potential for some sort of a military action with a scale of weapons. I believe one of the things that they're going to use is some sort of a holographic technology. And I looked this up on YouTube, and it's called Project Bluebeam. And that is a part of it. And I don't know that if these things are holographs or not, but there's an awful lot of UFOs being seen. And I've got pictures of a UFO that seemed to be changing shape. And I took this about 2 years ago in Louisiana. There's a YouTube video, I think it's Ken Klein, has got out. We're down in Louisiana last year, about a month before the Gulf disaster happened. This guy started seeing lights and things in the sky, and they were changing shape into different forms, and it looked just like the pictures I have. I mean, it's really scary that there would be that much continuity between his stuff and mine and other stuff that I'm seeing on the internet and YouTube. And I think we could be fixing to see some sort of a breakthrough, whether it's a disclosure, an attack, continuity of government set in place after the fall. You know, I don't know, but I think we're definitely heading in that direction very, very quickly. And last thing is, China is talking about collecting on their treasury bonds. What effect do you think that's going to have on our economy, Griff?
We don't have an economy right now. We're bankrupt. We're running on fumes. We don't even have the fumes, and it's all
right.
A bookkeeping system. You know, I said earlier that it can be changed in 30 seconds with one pencil. The whole world can be turned around, but they won't do that. There's no tangible anything.
If we can't pay on the bonds, what do we do? What is our government going to do? I mean, how are they going to pay China if China says we want our money?
If we stick to the system, the paper system, the numbers system, then we're gone. That's what we're talking about. That's what we're referencing when we say collapse. We're not going down and then something will change and we'll rebound. We're not coming back. It's the end. We're going to be crawling in the mud here pretty soon with no clothing, no food, and no means of buying it from other countries.
Well,
it's really a desperate situation.
That's my point. And if China comes for their money, if they cash in these treasury bonds, that could be it. I mean,
well, it could be. But do you, Brian? Do you understand what I'm saying when I say that the entire world collapse could be changed with a pencil in 30 seconds?
Oh yeah. I mean, it's all paper.
It's all paper. You can just lob off the zeros and say everybody agree to this. They agree, and everything's fine the next day. But they're not going to do that because they want it to collapse.
Right.
Exactly. I'm in agreement, and it all comes together like pieces on a puzzle. And Lord, please come get us. I'm ready for the pre-tribulation rapture. And if it doesn't happen, you know, I'm going to be prepared for whatever, you know, gets dumped on my plate. And but hey, I'm enjoying the show. I'm going to go back and continue to listen. And
Brian, will you contact me on email? Do you have my email?
Let me grab a pen. I'm back here in the back of my house, and kids are up front. Yes, sir, I've got it.
Okay, it's Griff 703. That's George Roger India Frank 703.